Hello, we will start with some curiosities about the European Parliament in Brussels, followed by a short overview of the most recent nonsense. Only those who have watched all the EndTimes episodes will understand the real meaning of the beginning of this video, because it is about those prophecies that he will be the head of the European Union, something United Nations, something of that sort. And we had three sources for that: Utorok Vyacheslav, the Nina prophecies, and Mary Julie Jaheni. So the things in this regard are turning into reality already, so allow me to present to your attention a non-governmental association. Well, anybody can set up some sort of a non-governmental organization, and many good people do it as well. The only problem is the governments simply don't care what this type of organizations have to say. But this one, although it is not governmental, it actually curates the European Union. And whatever they suggest, the European Union legislates. All organizations have their headquarters, and the headquarters of this one is, of course, the European EU Parliament building in Brussels. Here, in their own words, location of their headquarters is more than symbolic. More than symbolic. So what do they do? Like, for example, in some of European country, they banned sacrificial bloody murder of animals who have not been euthanized prior than that. So immediately it is the function of this type of organizations to fight against such laws which infringe on their concept of how things should be. So this is again taken from their own statement. As you can see, the committees of the European Parliament and this Parliament are quite mixed, merging between each other. The task of the Parliament is to oversee and coordinate the endeavors of smaller, similar organizations like this one or this one. So they take the decisions which concern some 500 million people, or at least that's the official population of Europe. And yet, looking at the number of followers, it seems very few souls from those 500,000 are aware of this legal setup over there in Brussels. And of course, this setup requires higher level security, obviously, and everything comes on time by schedule, just exactly when crime and violence started escalating in Europe. A couple of key people from those types of communities were murdered at the same time in all these countries. So then, on the grounds of that, there were extra funds allotted to keeping all the tentacles of the Parliament and all the daughter organizations which it patronates, providing them high security for their buildings, places of worship, and anything they do. So the local people, they have to pay for all that security. And as we saw a few videos ago, an insider from them told us it is just a question of time before the brave leader appears out of the shadows. In February in New Zealand, they are planning to pass a bill that will practically restrict and prohibit many, I don't know if it is most, herbal remedies altogether in the country. Be aware that this may happen at your place as well at any time now. When I first heard this news from New Zealand, somehow it made me remember something which was included in one video. A traditional Rabbi from the Middle East, he was explaining how the world will be when he comes. So he was listing many things which now are coming true, and one of them is that herbal remedies will be banned altogether. That was recorded maybe a decade or 2 decades ago, so even back then he described very well this Chrislam joke, whatever they call it, fraternity, brotherhood. And while that is happening at the background, the loyal watchdog Alex Jones is herding the sheep towards the slaughterhouse, and they go happily because he tells them that it has died, while obviously it is not even born yet. Their dream, as they have outlined it themselves, is to follow the model of China. So what they did with people who do not dance the way they like to their music, first they tried it with the Tibetans. Now that they have almost obliterated them, they are doing the same concentration camps with the Muslim people. Here it says more than 1 million are now in labor camps where they are tortured and their organs are being sold. That is not denied even by all officials. And what is more than 1 million? Well, according to other estimates, that is actually 3 millions. And how much have they slaughtered over the years just in this Xinjiang province? About 10 million of Uyghur people. And what is the situation there now in the Muslim regions? Considerable part of the population is in the labor camps. The rest, they can move around a little bit, but they have to scan their passes every time when they even go to different quarters of the town. Not only at exit and entry of the town, but also when they move inside. And they're allowed to exist and breathe only under the condition that they have a cell phone with special installed application, just in case some of them decides to publish something about what is going on there. So it is not by chance that our dear leaders have been pointing what a good example the orderly China is. Just have a look what times are upon us. Possibly this Bible verse refers to such type of situations. Can a man bear children? Why do I see a strong man with his hands on his stomach like a woman in labor? And they have children, periods, everything. And the clowns are so stupid. Look at this, where has it reached? US is running out of bullets, it sent them all to Ukraine. It's not just bullets, of course, all the other equipment as well. So somehow it seems before the newspapers had jokes at the end pages and the news on the front, and now they are mixed or something like that, because you see, patriotic British young men, they drank so much alcohol during the World Cup, they spent so much money on it that now the figures show that the economy has recovered. If you don't take that economic recovery seriously, it means you don't take the entire hell clown world seriously. And they're not gonna allow that for much longer, at least for most people. That's why in Davos now they are informing us about diminished reality project. Technology will cut out unwanted sights and sounds. On what level? Merging with reality level, for example, they say we can make garbage items invisible for you, or even people. I wonder what kind of people will they want to cut off from reality if you want to keep your job. But this is only the beginning. They have also confirmed what was known even before, that they will have these pills, which those who want to keep their job will have to ingest. And when they take the vaccine, it will, from their bellies, send a signal to the pharmaceutical company that you have become a proper clown yourself. But these are just curious details. The main thing is that I continue to read from their quotes. We have seen some of that already last year in the form of the RNA messenger. Quote continued, once we have mastered the engineered genetic code, it means we have obtained writer-level permissions for the code of life, which is the key to transforming the entire reality. End of quote. And how exciting, how exciting. I really wonder what kind of reality would have in mind creatures who worship Satan. Here in this video you can see their dream world, and they're working hard on it, like since a couple of months. Chicken farmers who buy their chicken food from the store all of a sudden started getting 0 eggs from their chicken for weeks and weeks in a row. You can see this video, it explains everything very, very well. In some countries like UK, New Zealand, they either simply have no eggs in the supermarkets, or they put like a quota of how many eggs per customer are allowed. Some suspect that some cat and dog food have been contaminated as well. I did not research that very well, but for the chicken there are plenty of farmers who are definitely speaking out about this problem. And after disrupting the food supply chain, they try to dissuade people to raise their own chicken for eggs with all kinds of absurd lies. Your chicken will live more than a decade and give very few eggs for 1 year only. At places, this one is actually in Canada, they have these quotas for different agriculture, and basically people can't become organic chicken farmers because the quota is so expensive. There is no profit from doing it at the end. In general, they don't want us to eat eggs and tasty things. They want us to eat bugs, but this is not really what it sounds. They present it like in a green light. You go for nature if you eat the bugs. It's not that they will allow you to go into nature and hunt your own bugs. You will be given either 3D printed bugs, or some bugs from their military facilities, actually, because the weaponization of bugs has been going on for a long time now. They are perfect carriers for disease. They can bite. Once they dump them, they crawl and find themselves human flesh. And why they breed them since a long time is that they put on them radioactive dust or nanodust or all kinds of viruses and contagions. Not by chance, in their true form, in their place, from where they have come from to conquer Earth, some of them, many of them actually seem to have insect-like forms. This is not a mere hypothesis. It has been going on for a long time, and they openly write that they take pride in having military facilities which are capable of manufacturing millions of such bugs per day. The prophecies describe dreadful pest infestations. Some of them are by species we know, and some of them we don't know yet about. Probably they're waiting already in the facilities. Quote what they say about their own military programs. This is an important new capacity, considering that many of the new emerging diseases are transmitted by insects. So, starting from yesterday, some Europeans are already eating dry crickets in their pasta, pizza, cereal bars, biscuits, and many others. Besides being disgusting, please note how quickly they have started implementing these things. There was a ruling passed earlier this month, and now it's already on people's table. And no, it is not because they want you to be well nourished with proteins. It is because they want to put in your body organic material with special code, demonic. And although the soul is above the body, while it is still plugged into the body, the consciousness will get influenced somewhat by the biological structures in the body. And that's their target. So recently I watched this video with the prophecies of the nun Starica Sephora, and somehow it made me wonder if she's not talking about the same thing which was mentioned in the third message of Fatima. In the last century, when people would have only heard about computers, over there in Russia, but wouldn't have seen a real one. Even in those times, she was saying that during the end times, people will carry with themselves some machines, and they will watch them as TV, and also they will talk on them as telephones. And she did mention many other things which now we see happening, that cities will get closed. There will be no free entry. So she was mentioning that in relation to visiting holy places, advising to do it back then when people were free to travel, because she said that in the end times there will be no free travel. And she foretold many other things which I have included already in the previous episodes with the prophecies. But what made me make the Fatima connection is that she said that during the end times there will be two possible paths for Russia. The first, the milder one, will be if a sufficient number of people, the majority, embrace Christianity with all sincerity. Then she said Russia will remain the only country which will not accept the mark of the beast. And then the other possible path, again, all people are Christian like they are now, the majority, I mean, but they do it mostly out of habit, without real inner commitment to the real Christian values. If that happens, she said, then the communists will come to power again very shortly and will brutally prosecute all the righteous people. And now the Fatima connection to what we are told is the third message of Fatima. So this is at least the official text of the message, that if Russia is consecrated to the Immaculate Heart of the Virgin Mary and converted, there will be peace. But if Russia does not consecrate and convert, it will spread its errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecution. So, if converting to the real Christian values is the meaning of consecration and conversion, then the third message of Fatima is same as what Starica Sephora saw. Basically, two possible timelines. If that is really so, which path is Russia taking? I have no clue. There are no real statistics about these things. On one side, according to official data, some 50-60% of the population is fixed, yet on the other there are many people who are selling their apartments and moving to the countryside, and they very carefully get rid of all kinds of government papers, including passports, cards, permits, anything. They just give back to the respective institution which has issued the given document. They return it and they go without any documents to the woods or to some remote village. And in general, this parallel is a bit speculative, because the prophecies of Starica Sephora were recorded properly, but the Fatima prophecies were not. Or if they were, we don't know where is the correct original. What we have is some official statement which was written by a third party. So much for today, and don't forget the most important thing. The prophets told us why the Lord has revealed these things to them. He did so for the sake of the good and truly righteous people who will not betray him until the end, so that they will know what is happening and will not get confused when evil seemingly takes complete control of the world. This will be very short-lived.